At 2:13 a.m., the Caldwell townhouse in suburban Chicago decided it was bedtime. The smart locks clicked shut, one after another, like a polite machine clearing its throat. Inside, Mark stumbled from the couch, confused by the sudden away mode announcement. The thermostat dropped, the vents roared, and the kitchen lights switched to calm amber. Then the gas range ignited without a match, burning blue under an empty pan. Mark shouted at the wall panel, but it cheerfully confirmed. Command received. Executing routine. His phone showed no intruders, no remote access, no unknown devices on the network. Even the event log looked pristine, like the house followed every rule perfectly. So why did the smoke alarm stay silent while the carbon monoxide numbers climbed? Riley worked at a mid-size IoT security lab in downtown Chicago. By night, Riley consulted for detectives who hated smart home accidents. They called Riley when devices told stories that humans couldn't parse. This case arrived with a neat folder and an ugly photo. Detective Maya Torres slid it across the table, jaw clenched. Gas, locks, logs clean, she said, like she tasted poison. Riley skimmed the printouts, then asked for raw telemetry instead. Maya raised an eyebrow. Because cops love paper and hate streams. Riley smiled anyway and opened a laptop like a ritual. The house looked normal on the surface. Z-Wave locks, a Wi-Fi hub, a utility smart meter, and cloud automations, all common in American suburbs, all marketed as peace of mind. Riley's eyes stopped on a single line, time-stamped 2:12:58 a.m. A diagnostic burst, labeled harmless, had preceded every routine command. Maya leaned forward, catching the change in Riley's breathing. "That mean something?" she asked, voice low. "It means someone knew where to hide," Riley answered. Maya had her own reasons to listen closely. 2 years ago, a faulty furnace killed a family in Cicero. The case died in paperwork, but Maya didn't. Now she hunted patterns the way others hunted fingerprints. She treated devices like witnesses who lied politely, under pressure. Riley wasn't chasing justice for fun either. A week earlier, the lab had flagged similar anomalies in another home. The address belonged to an older couple, the Harrises, in Evanston. They had a medical alert system, a keypad lock, and a gas stove. They also had a safe, according to Maya's quiet sources. And someone had already favorited their home in a contractor portal. Maya tapped the screen and showed a map pin. Bright and unforgiving. "This is our next target," she said, as if naming a storm. Riley felt a cold heaviness settle behind the ribs. One death could be dismissed as an accident with paperwork and time. A second death would become a pattern, and patterns create panic. Panic makes people buy more smart devices and trust them less. Riley closed the laptop, then opened it again, more determined. "Give me 48 hours of their system noise," Riley said. "Not logs," Maya replied, catching on fast. "Not logs," Riley confirmed. "The stuff everyone ignores." Riley didn't start with the Harris house. Riley started with a cheap demo kit from the lab closet. One hub, 2 smart plugs, a smart lock, and a gas sensor. All off-the-shelf brands you could buy at Best Buy. Maya watched from a folding chair, coffee cooling in her hands. "So the house can kill you with normal commands," she said. "Yes," Riley answered, "and it can do it politely." Riley snapped a power strip into the smart plug and labeled it stove. Then Riley labeled the second plug fan, like a boring HVAC routine. First, Riley showed the honest version. A phone app sent turn stove on and lock door. The hub wrote clear lines into the event log. It looked like a child's drawing, bright and obvious. "See?" Riley said. "That's what manufacturers expect to investigate." Then Riley flipped to the ugly version. Riley opened a diagnostics panel most homeowners never find. The panel existed for installers, support staff, and maintenance contractors. It streamed health checks, latency probes, retry counts, and radio statistics. To a human, it looked like harmless noise and boring graphs. To a device, it looked like trusted instructions from a trusted channel. Maya frowned. "How can a health check become a command?" she asked. Riley nodded, like that was the whole tragedy. "Because the same pathway often carries both," Riley said. "Telemetry and control share buses, queues, and parsing code." Riley explained it with a simple metaphor. Imagine a mailroom that sorts letters and emergency orders together. The mailroom reads every envelope looking for routing tags. If someone hides an order inside a routine inspection envelope, it passes. No guard panics, because the envelope looks official and familiar. Riley pulled up a packet capture from the demo hub. "These bursts are diagnostic beacons," Riley said. pointing at spikes. They're supposed to say, "I'm alive. My battery is fine." Riley zoomed in and highlighted tiny fields inside the beacon. "One field is a vendor extension," Riley added, voice steady. "It's meant for debugging, but it's also a perfect hiding place." Riley pressed a key and replayed the stream. The graphs looked normal, like any board installer would expect. But the smart lock clicked, even though nobody tapped lock. Maya's shoulders tightened at the sound. "That wasn't in the log," she said, anger rising. "Exactly," Riley replied. "The log only records routine success." Riley kept it plain, not mystical. This wasn't magic radio mind control. It was software trusting the wrong messages in the wrong context. The hub parsed a diagnostic blob, then triggered an internal automation. The automation fired lock, fan off, and stove on in sequence. Each step looked legitimate because it came from the hub itself. Maya rubbed her forehead, finally quiet. "So the attacker doesn't need to hack the phone," she said. "No," Riley answered. "They just need a door into maintenance traffic, and homeowners would never notice," Maya added. Riley nodded. "They'd blame glitches," Riley said, "because glitches are already normal." Riley and Maya moved into a borrowed conference room at the lab. 2 monitors showed the Harris home telemetry, 48 hours deep. It looked like static, like rain on an old TV screen. Riley loved that kind of chaos, because chaos always repeats. Riley filtered by timestamps near routine changes and sensor alarms. A thin comb of spikes appeared, evenly spaced, almost musical. Maya leaned in, squinting like she could interrogate a waveform. "That's your diagnostic burst?" she asked. "It's shaped like one," Riley said. "But it's too consistent." Riley overlaid signal strength, packet size, and retry counts. 3 numbers kept returning in the same order, like a signature. It was subtle, buried inside legitimate health traffic. No normal homeowner would ever see it. Even most engineers would dismiss it as network quirks. Maya asked the question cops always ask. "Can you testify that it's malicious?" she said. Riley hesitated, because honesty mattered more than hero poses. "I can testify it's unnatural," Riley said. "Not who sent it." Maya exhaled, irritated by reality. "Unnatural doesn't put cuffs on someone," she said. Riley nodded and kept digging. The signature appeared at 2:12 a.m., then again at 4:41 p.m. Both times, nothing visible happened inside the home. No lock cycle, no lights, no thermostat change. That made it worse, because it suggested rehearsals. Maya circled a line with her pen like it could bleed. "So they test the signal, then trigger when it matters," she said. "Or they wait for a moment with witnesses," Riley replied. Maya's eyes hardened at the thought. "This is going to be hard to prove," she said. Riley asked for the Caldwell home raw data as well. Maya got it through a warrant and a tired judge. By midnight, both houses lived side by side on screen. Riley aligned the data streams by the first burst signature. The Caldwell house had the same 3-number sequence. It appeared 12 seconds before the lock engaged. Then it appeared 3 seconds before the stove ignited. Then it appeared again before the thermostat dropped. Maya stared at the timeline, silent for a full minute. "That's not a glitch," she said finally. Riley shook their head, almost relieved. "Glitches don't keep appointments," Riley replied. Riley explained it in plain, physical terms. A command is just information plus timing, nothing supernatural. If a device receives the right bits at the right moment, it acts. The pattern wasn't random noise. It was a metronome, telling the system when to move. Maya's phone buzzed with an update from patrol. The Harrises had a visiting nurse scheduled tomorrow night. A perfect window. Strangers coming and going, confusion tolerated. Maya showed Riley the message without speaking. Riley's jaw tightened, and their voice dropped. "They'll do it when the house is already busy," Riley said. Riley ran one more correlation, just to be cruelly sure. The signature matched the service portal heartbeat checks, byte for byte, except for one field that should have been meaningless padding. That padding carried the 3-number sequence, hiding in plain sight. Riley pointed at it like a bullet hole. "This breaks the accident story," Riley said. Maya nodded, and her eyes sharpened into purpose. Maya pulled contractor records tied to both addresses. They weren't dramatic, just invoices and service calls. A smart lock calibration here, a hub firmware update there. The same company appeared twice. BrightNest integration. Riley searched BrightNest's back-end documentation, obtained through the warrant. Their support staff used a maintenance channel called Remote Assist. Remote Assist could read sensors, push updates, and run diagnostics. It was all lawful, signed in, logged, and blessed by policy. That's what made it dangerous. Maya found the name attached to both jobs. Evan, a senior field integrator with 5-star reviews. Neighbors loved him because he wore shoe covers indoors. He posted friendly videos about making your home smarter, and he had the access needed to hide in diagnostics traffic. Riley didn't celebrate because they knew this trick. The system would say Evan logged in and ran health checks. Evan would say he did exactly that, like he always did. And the malicious payload would look like normal variance in noise. Maya tapped the screen, voice tight. So he can murder someone and call it customer support. He can trigger a chain, Riley said. Careful with words. Murder still needs intent, Maya replied, jaw set. Riley met her stare, then nodded. Intent leaves patterns too, Riley said. If we force it out. Maya made calls, fast and clipped. She got a judge to approve a live monitoring operation, not a sting in a parking lot. A sting inside a real home, with real risk. They couldn't use the Harrises as bait. Not like that. Maya arranged for them to stay with family overnight. Riley and a fire marshal took over the house instead. They placed external gas sensors and independent CO alarms everywhere. They added a manual shutoff wrench beside the meter. Nothing would depend on the smart system behaving. Then they staged the scene the attacker wanted. Lights on, TV murmuring, a purse on the counter, keys visible. A decoy safe sat in the study, bolted and tagged. Inside, it held a tracker and die pack, not cash. Riley installed a passive tap on the network line. It only listened because altering traffic could ruin evidence. Maya hated that part because she preferred action to patience. But she trusted Riley's calm more than her own impatience. At 11:47 p.m., the diagnostic noise thickened. Riley's screen lit with the same 3-number sequence. Maya's hand moved toward her holster, then stopped. Not yet, Riley whispered, watching the timing. At 11:47 and 12, the front door deadbolt turned by itself. At 11:47:15, the HVAC fans shut off. At 11:47:19, the gas stove clicked and ignited on low. Riley's external sensor alarm shrieked immediately, louder than any smart chime. Maya slammed the manual shutoff and killed the gas supply. The flame died with a soft, angry sigh. Riley kept recording, heart hammering behind a steady face. Now we have the full chain, Riley said, almost breathless. Maya stared at the door like it might open politely. This is live, she said, voice rough. Yes, Riley replied, and someone thinks they're alone. A minute later, Remote Assist connected again. Evan's credentials appeared, clean and properly authenticated. He ran a health check, just like policy allowed. Then he pushed another diagnostic burst, the signature wrapped inside. Maya's eyes flashed. Got you, she murmured, and signaled the team outside. But Riley didn't relax, because the trap had a price. If Evan realized the gas didn't escalate, he might adapt fast. He might switch targets or trigger something worse. Riley watched the stream and saw a second instruction forming. Not gas this time, but locks and ventilation, a different kill recipe. Riley swallowed hard and spoke quietly. He's adjusting, Riley said. He knows the house resisted. Maya's radio crackled, and the night tightened like a wire. The team expected Evan to panic and flee. Instead, Evan stayed connected, calm as a help desk script. Riley watched the cursor move through the Remote Assist dashboard. It didn't hunt for cameras or alarms. It went straight to the Homeowner Assets tab. Maya blinked, confused by the menu choice. Assets? She whispered, as if the word smelled wrong. Riley clicked open the mirrored capture from the tap. A second stream ran beside the smart home commands. It wasn't Z-Wave or Zigbee traffic. It was bank traffic, encrypted, outbound, and perfectly timed. Riley's stomach tightened, then the logic snapped into place. The attacker didn't need the house to kill someone every time. The attacker needed the house to cause chaos on demand. Chaos makes people grab phones, call 911, and forget passwords. Chaos makes neighbors rush in, doors propped open, routines shattered. Maya looked at the staged purse and the decoy keys. You think he's after the safe? She said. Maybe, Riley replied. But safer is money that moves itself. Riley pulled the Harris router logs and noticed an old detail. A financial wellness app had been installed on their tablet. It had remote assist permissions, bundled as premium support. That meant a support agent could help with setup remotely. It also meant screen sharing, password entry prompts, and silent overlays. Riley explained it without jargon, forcing it into human terms. If you can make someone scared, you can make them rush. If you can make them rush, they click what they shouldn't. And if you control the device helping them, you guide their hand. Maya's face hardened like cooling steel. So the gas is the distraction, she said. And the transfer is the real score. Riley answered. On Riley's screen, a fake bank page loaded inside the tablet. It looked identical to the real one, down to tiny icons. A pop-up appeared labeled Security Verification Required. It asked for the Harris's login, then their two-factor code. The timing was brutal, because panic makes compliance feel like safety. Maya realized the decoy safe was almost irrelevant. The real safe was the account, and the key was fear. She imagined a nurse, a neighbor, someone helpful picking up the tablet. They'd try to fix things while the house acted possessed. They'd type codes quickly, thinking they were saving lives. Riley saw the transfer request form populate automatically. A large amount, split into smaller chunks, aimed at fresh accounts. Those accounts would bounce money through services before anyone noticed. Not Hollywood hacking, just social engineering with smart home theater. Maya spoke into her radio, voice sharp and controlled. Freeze all exits and grab his devices, she said. Riley kept recording the streams, every byte and every timestamp. This isn't just murder, Riley said quietly. It's a heist wearing a tragedy mask. Maya's team moved fast, but not loud. They wanted Evan to keep believing the house was empty. Evan stayed on remote assist, pushing verification screens to the tablet. He didn't know the Harrises were safe across town. He didn't know Riley had mirrored every packet in real time. Riley watched the transfer attempt hit the bank endpoint. It triggered a fraud rule, then paused, waiting for confirmation. Evan tried again, changing amounts, changing timing, changing language. That told Maya something important about intent. Accidents don't iterate like a salesman chasing commission. Maya whispered, "Where is he physically?" Riley pointed at a small detail in the service portal. A field tech session showed a cellular backup IP address. The geolocation wasn't perfect, but it narrowed the radius. A van parked near the block would fit the signal strength. Outside, a patrol unit reported a Bright Nest branded van idling nearby. The engine ran, lights off, like someone waiting for a timer. Maya's jaw tightened, and she gave the go signal. 2 officers approached quietly, one on each side. Evan opened the door too late, phone still in his hand. He tried to smile, like a man caught jaywalking. "It's just remote support," he said, voice smooth and practiced. Maya didn't argue, because arguing gives liars oxygen. She held up the printed timeline Riley had built. The same signature bursts, the same command chain, the same moments. Riley spoke once, carefully, like placing a pin on evidence. "Those bursts are not random diagnostics," Riley said. "They're structured fields carrying hidden triggers," Riley added. "You can't claim coincidence across 2 homes and a live attempt." Evan's face tightened, then flattened into calculation. "Prove it was me," he said, almost bored. Maya nodded, because she expected that line. Riley clicked play on the tablet recording. It showed Evan's session spawning the fake bank prompt. It showed the transfer form pre-filled, then submitted. Maya leaned closer, voice quiet and cold. "This is wire fraud," she said. "An attempted homicide." Evan swallowed, finally understanding the stack of charges. He looked past her, searching for a loophole in the room. There wasn't one, because Riley had built the room out of timestamps. The Zakashik appeared faster than Maya expected. Evan wasn't a mastermind, just a skilled installer with access. The money trail led to a consulting company paying him bonuses. The company's owner, Daniel, had coached Evan on support workflows. Daniel also had a history of insurance claims after home incidents. Maya's warrants landed before sunrise, backed by digital proof. Daniel's accounts froze, and his office computers got imaged. On OneDrive, they found templated scripts labeled Chaos Windows. Each script listed device routines, panic triggers, and transfer steps. It wasn't obsession, it was a business process. By afternoon, the story hit local news. Not the technical details, but the human hook and the arrests. Riley hated the headlines, but respected the outcome. The Harrises got new locks, new sensors, and a real manual shutoff lesson. Maya got the satisfaction of a case that didn't evaporate into paperwork, and Riley got something else. Quieter, but powerful. A federal task force asked for help auditing service channels nationwide. A contract, real funding, and a seat at the table. Influence. The kind that stops the next glitch before it kills. Maya met Riley outside the lab. "Wind cutting off the lake. You just made enemies," she said. Half warning, half respect. Riley shrugged, tired but steady. "Good," Riley said. "That means they noticed we're watching."